So, hallo, herzlich willkommen zurück zu Let's Play Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. Und ja, wir sind hier nach wie vor in einer kleinen Gerichtsverhandlung, wo man sagen kann, die gute Kyoko ist quasi so ein bisschen die Hauptverdächtige, die aber immer wieder versucht, uns gerade irgendwie anzuschwärzen. Bisschen seltsam.
That's not...
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
Hat er leider recht. And the suspicion falls back on me again. But why? Why is Kyoko trying to entrap me? I don't understand. This guy's dead body has been added to the Truth Bullet section of Handbook. Ja, manchmal kriegt man die auch während des Class Trials.
Well then, it looks like we're back to square one.
So schaut's aus.
Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
Oh!
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
The one we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right? According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back. So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before. That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
Listen, more important? Now that we have the knife, what are we gonna do with it? We can't let Toko keep it, that's for sure. We don't know what she might do. I don't want it anyway. So what to do? Why don't you hang on to it, Makoto? Me?
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah.
Then why did you hide that fact?
It's not that I hid it. It's just...
I couldn't be sure of what actually happened last night. I thought maybe I really did kill her.
Suspicious! Very suspicious indeed. The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Considering everything up till now, I should be able to make it clear. I have to prove that I didn't murder anyone. I'm not the killer.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
We've already established that the coat was put on the body after the top was removed. Which means when the knife was thrust through the coat into the body... Yep, da haben wir es nämlich.
It's the same one. It really is, isn't it?
If he did have that seals it.
Just because I had that automatic...
Well,
Getting stabbed is what killed her.
Ach, das war falsch? Yes, das siehst du, das Ding ist... I have absolutely no idea. Wo habe ich den Fehler? Moment. Also getting stabbed ist es ja jetzt nicht. Fragments.
it's the same one we gave to Makoto.
Moment, da muss ich kurz mal nachschauen. This guy's dead body, was steht da genau? Later. Dann könnte es sein, dass es das ist.
It really is, isn't it?
If he did have that seals it. Just because I have that automatic. Well,
Getting stabbed is what...
Jetzt haben wir das richtige
no,
gewählt.
that's wrong.
Ich hätte mir vorher dieses Beweisstück genauer ansehen sollen.
Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her!
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp, and then put the bloody coat on it, right? In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
Das ist ziemlich dämlich. The victim was stabbed twice in the same spot? No, there's no way that's possible. The exact condition of the body was written down for everyone to see. Das hier muss es dann sein. Had been stabbed a single time with a knife. Genau.
I got it! The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. Totally forgot about that.
Then the knife...
Was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer.
Ja, die Frage ist, wer das ist.
They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing. The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kinda goes back to the beginning, but... What's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic-level spontaneous combustion!
Der ist so ein Vollidiot.
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Okay, die sagt zumindest, dass sie nicht die intelligenteste ist, was auch stimmt, aber immerhin hat sie ein gutes Herz.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
There's only one explanation I can think of for the explosion. Ja, Fragmente müssten es sein, oder ist da irgendwie noch was mit einer Bombe hier? Nö, dann sind es die Fragmente.
I got it! After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
That's only natural, because of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
Oh! Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
We need to determine what ultimately killed the victim. I need to concentrate.
Then shall we continue the debate?
Schau noch mal kurz, was hier drin steht. Had been stabbed, completely. Had been struck in the head with an object that was thick as a metal pipe. Body was covered with other wounds, but these were at least several days old.
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
Das nehmen wir mal.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Okay. I thought this was a cover-up and all those other wounds on her body weren't fresh. Which only leaves... yeah.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet
Ich weiß nicht, ist das jetzt das, was wir nehmen müssen? Tatsache!
No, that's wrong. Mikro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what was the murder weapon? The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe!
Sehr stumpf, du Idiot.
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power.
Stimmt wohl.
I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground and spit on it.
I feel the same way. Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Was ist das jetzt? Frenemies?
Seriously?
We want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
The real murder weapon. Das ist ziemlich simpel. Pfeile.
I got it! Mikro was hit in the back of the head with something. And that's what killed her. And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
Arrow. That's what the culprit attacked Mikro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Are you sure? That sounds kind of weird. Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master? You have no right! I'm not backtalking anything. I'm just saying what I think.
I don't blame Hina for doubting it, because there's one more thing about that weapon. One more secret. Ja, man muss halt die Pfeile zusammenbinden.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, because in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin. Talking back to Master! You have no right!
Ach, Toko ist so durch. If it was just that titanium arrow, it wouldn't be nearly thick enough. Which is why they used...
The titanium, it was in the dojo, I have no doubt.
Are you sure?
You don't sound...
Well, it said the weapon must have been about as...
It seems like an arrow would just be... No, it's wrong! You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another weapon.
Another weapon?
Die wirkt irgendwie putzig mit diesem Gesichtsausdruck, aber okay.
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled-up wad of duct tape. The killer probably uses duct tape to bind multiple arrows together. Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks. One stick is weak, but put them together, and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Damn, that's harsh.
How is it harsh? Are you even listening?
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
Oh no, you absolutely have.
How can you say that with such confidence?
Because we have proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto? What's the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you? If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to. The death of us all, remember?
Of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
I have evidence? Evidence that Kyoko went to the dojo? It must be connected to the dojo locker. Ja, ist ziemlich simpel.
I got it!
Ich trinke kurz einen Schluck.
The one thing that proves Kyoko was in the dojo is right here. The key to the dojo locker.
And how does that prove anything?
Because I found it in your room.
It was in my room?
Don't bother trying to play dumb. That key is just the final piece of the puzzle. Your non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the crime. This all proves that you are the true culprit. You can't explain this away, so just give up.
Hold on a second.
Ja, mir fällt da nämlich auch gerade was ein, weshalb das nicht ganz so einfach sein kann.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her, aren't you?
No, it's not that I want to defend her. It's just, there's one more thing I need to ask her. Kyoko, I want you to tell me something. Last night, you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
I was just protecting you.
What?
She was protecting me? Then does that mean she knew I was being attacked? And she came to my rescue? Could that be when... Which would mean that Kyoko... She killed someone... for me?
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
Wait. I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know.
Jetzt kommt nämlich der Punkt, den ich eben meinte. What? The Akio should know better than anyone? What does that mean?
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
But Kyoko gave her room key to Byakuya, right? Which would mean...
Those words you just spoke.
Das heißt jetzt hier...
I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than
Byakuya,
Master would never hide
Was
something.
There's proof that you
müsste denn das sein? Yep.
No, it's wrong. If I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room
Huh? Why not?
because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
I see. So that's what you meant. And if I had the key to your room,
Then obviously I had no way of getting in. Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself. Am I wrong?
it would appear not.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
No, that's not actually true. There was a clear contradiction in what Kyoko just told us. An obvious lie. Und das ist jetzt ein wichtiger Punkt. Und hier würde ich sagen, machen wir einen kleinen Schnitt. Und wir sehen uns in der nächsten Folge wieder. Es wird interessant. Insbesondere kommen wir bald an einen Punkt, wo man ein alternatives Ende finden kann. Wir werden das mitnehmen. Ich zeige euch dieses alternative Ende, aber ansonsten zeige ich euch halt auch, was es sonst so als normales Ende gibt. Keine Sorge. Also, wie gesagt, wir machen hier einen Schnitt. Ich hoffe, ihr habt Spaß. Lasst konstruktive Kritik, vielleicht ein Däumchen nach oben da. Wir sehen uns beim nächsten Mal. Ansonsten, solltet ihr mich unterstützen wollen, gibt es die 3 ersten Links in der Videobeschreibung. Bis dahin. Cheerio.